things like, process validation, things like process monitoring, analytical characterization, they're not taught in normal curriculums. So through this program there's an annual program we do, we try to cover, these areas which are not in routine curriculum and help the industry move forward in terms of training.
Welcome to the Sci Focus by Biopatrika. I am Virender Singh, host for today's session. And today we have Professor Anurag Rathore, who is coordinator for CBT and professor at IIT Delhi. So Professor Rathore, could you briefly tell us about your background and your work at IIT Delhi?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad from IIT Delhi itself. So I was an undergrad student here some 30 years ago. Then I went on to do my PhD and my master's and PhD from Yale University in the US. Worked for Pfizer for 5 years in the US, then Amgen for about 7 years in the US. And then after that, I've been at IIT Delhi. Our field of research is primarily biopharmaceutical technology, so basically manufacturing and characterization of biotherapeutic products. And in 2015, the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, they awarded us with this Center of Excellence in Biopharmaceutical Technology, which I've been coordinator of since then. And out of that, one of the mandates of the center is training, because manpower training is a big deal for India. We have obviously a lot of resources, but they kind of lack training in certain areas. They're very good in their core science and even engineering disciplines, but but there is not that much, because things like process validation, things like process monitoring, analytical characterization, they're not taught in normal curriculums. So through this program there's an annual program we do, we try to cover these areas which are not in routine curriculum and help the industry move forward in terms of training.
Oh, that's great. So how do you think that participants will get benefit from this course?
Yeah, so the courses are designed so that they would be of interest to anybody who is, I would say, less than 10 years in industry, plus even senior people who want to know more about an area that they don't know much about, right? So we have, like this year's event, we have 12 different courses that are being offered. And the courses, basically, we try to bring in experts both from India and abroad to offer this training. So it's the training is designed so that when you go out or when you're done with the training, hopefully you should have a much better understanding of the basic theory of the topic, plus also how to implement it, right? And the first part you can also gain by reading books and papers and all that. But I think it's the second part which is important, which is not available widely. And that's for that reason, most of our instructors are actually coming from industry. So it's not a very basic fundamental theoretical courses that we teach, but they're certainly more geared towards applications and to clarify to the audience how to go about implementing these topics.
It's quite interesting. I think generally we just read about things, but getting to know more about what industry is doing and knowing about those topics from industry professionals is, I think, extraordinary. So do you think people will get opportunities for networking as well during the course?
Absolutely. So the courses are designed so that all the whole workshop happens in one place. We typically get about 500 participants, and then roughly 50 to 60 instructors, plus another 50 to 60 exhibitors. So you have a crowd of about 600 or so people And the meetings are designed so that you have everything, breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything in the same place. So it gives the audience ample opportunities to interact with each other and network with each other.
Oh, that's good to know. So if a young PhD is attending your course, what they should expect from this course at the end of this course?
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, the primary goal is, so each course addresses a very niche topic, so we don't have we purposely don't want to teach very, very broad courses like downstream processing, right? Because then obviously in a short course, you will not be able to give the depth that you would want. So the courses are incredibly specific. For example, we have a course on multi-attribute monitoring. We have a course on mass spectrometry. We have a course on multivariate data analysis, design of experiments. So each topic is basically a course. And so what we are able to achieve then is that in a 1 to 2 day format, we are able to cover the basics as well as teach people how to actually use those tools, right? And because we have a lot of practitioners as instructors, because most of our instructors are coming from industry, it also gives opportunity to for participants to actually interact with these faculty and ask deeper questions or have discussions. So there are a lot of discussion sessions during the course which allow people to engage deeply about if they have any doubts or if they've done something and they're unclear about something. So we really hope that as you leave the event, you walk away with a good understanding of the topic that you wanted to cover.
Oh, that's great. So one last question. So do you think there'll be practical aspects adding to this course in future?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did an event in April of this year where there was totally a hands-on course, right? We purposely keep the two things separate because either trying to do hands-on and classroom course at the same time would becomes very difficult for to kind of from a logistic purpose. So right now, this event is purely a classroom teaching kind of a course. We do have case studies. There is a lot of case studies. There is a lot of hands-on in the sense that, like say for MBDA course, all the participants are supposed to download the software in their laptops before the course, because during the course, they will be actually doing work on that software as the instructor tells them to, right? So the idea is, because that's how they learn, right? You can't learn a software by just watching someone use it, right? So we try to build that as much as possible, but like I said, we have separate events for hands-on course, because in hands-on course you can only have a few participants. It's a very different kind of design of the course versus a classroom teaching kind of a course, which is what we are doing now.
Yeah, makes sense. So one last message for audience or future participants.
Yeah, so I think we have gradually been publicizing these courses now to all the industry. We are expecting some 500 plus participants to attend this course. My message would be that, for those of you, take a look at the topics, and if any of these things intrigue you, sign up and register, because, the courses are now roughly a month or so away.
Thanks a lot. I think this course looks very interesting, and if you guys are near Delhi, definitely visit IIT Delhi in December, and you will be amazed to see professionals from India and abroad. And thanks, Professor Rathore, for your time.